What's up, guys? So today I'm gonna be walking through my SMMA journey today. By the way, my name is Rishi, and I recently started uploading content on YouTube, hopefully just to give you the value of knowledge that I've been collecting over the past couple of years, honestly. Everything's led up to this point, so I was gonna say a couple of months, but none of that time is wasted as I'm gonna describe later in this slideshow, but I really just want to dive into it and explain to you how my journey's been so far. So, the first thing you need to know is any desire you have is just a contract you make with yourself to suffer until you receive that desire, right? And I actually learned this concept from Naval, but it's just mind blowing, honestly, because you watch all these YouTube videos, you see all these people with material things, and it creates desires in you that you wouldn't have had unless you have seen all these things, right? And then once you create these desires, it starts leading you down a rabbit hole of, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, right? So one thing I really want to make sure for you guys, especially because I know my crowd that's gonna be watching these videos are gonna be younger men, is make sure what you're doing is really what you want and that your desires are really from within and not just because you saw something else. Okay, so uh my SMA journey really started, to be honest, because let me take it back, honestly. Because, as I said, I had all these desires from watching, Iman, as everyone else did. Watching people like Matt Shields has actually been very helpful, though, for knowledge. And a lot of these other SMA gurus, all these YouTube videos and stuff. But it's really comes, but I knew my desire to start SMA came from these people, but the desire of SMMA was really to achieve financial freedom. It wasn't because I saw all these people doing it. It was because I saw it as a vehicle to achieve financial freedom, which is the actual desire I have, right? And that desire to achieve financial freedom is the contract I'm willing to have with myself and suffer until I receive, right? So I'm willing to go through the pain of suffering to receive that desire of financial freedom. And the vehicle is SMMA that I'm choosing, right? So that's where I got the idea of going into SMA. And I want to let you know how I started, right? So I started by reaching out to my warm contacts, which are my friends, right? So here's my friend Nick that I've actually known for probably like 15 years now. He's actually my friend since kindergarten, and I'm 22 years old right now, so long ass time, right? But I knew that the smartest thing I could do is find a friend who has a local business, right? And I was lucky enough to have one, and it was a good friend, right? So he trusted me. So he owns a pressure washing business, so that is my niche, and I was able to start with him. But he was willing to go through the pain with me, which was the most important thing, right? And I honestly felt bad. I felt bad because he was spending money on all these advertisements we were coming up with together, these different vehicles of advertising. And while we were getting results, a lot of it was frustrating because the results would plateau or fall off very quickly, right? And we were constantly testing different things and it would work for a little bit and then bam, it would fall off, right? So I was lucky enough to have someone who was willing to go through that pain of trying to figure things out because his desire to make his pressure washing business successful was strong enough for him to stay with me, right? So I was putting in a lot of late nights with him together. We're on Discord calls and all this stuff, trying to figure out what works, watching all these YouTube videos and stuff like that. But it was trials and tribulations to make things work. And there was definitely multiple points where, you know, I didn't think it was going to work. And at one point, we actually hired a professional media buyer who had advertised for companies like McDonald's, Orkin, Pest Control, right? Big ass brands. But we figured out that was a big mistake because he was not specialized in local lead gen, right? This was actually an ad he made for Facebook and it looks like a flyer. And one of the secrets for local advertising is actually to make your ad not look like an ad if you're running ads on Facebook, right? Because Facebook is a friends and family platform. It's not a magazine. This looks like it should be in a magazine, right? So it automatically triggers the instinct to scroll away. Moving forward, though, I had to take matters into my own hands, right? This media buyer thing was not going to work. I only got the media buyer idea because of all these gurus saying that you should just outsource your service delivery, right? But truth be told, that was the worst thing I could have done at that moment, right? Maybe it was my mistake. I'll take full responsibility for it. Maybe we didn't have the right person, but at the end of the day, if you can just take responsibility for your own service delivery, don't you think you're gonna have your best interest in mind at the end of the day? So you're gonna try your hardest to make things work. Do you think the media buyer has my best interest at hand? But I already paid him. So if the ads work or don't work, he already got paid. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm only going to make my SMA successful if my service delivery works. So by taking matters into my own hands, taking responsibility for my service delivery, I put my best effort towards it. And that's when things actually started to work, right? And, I did a lot of studying on some of the great marketers like Dan Kennedy, David Ogilvy, known as the father of advertising, and direct response advertising. And then obviously YouTube University, the best free education platform out there, right? So we finally had our breakthrough. And let me tell you, like, this is an amazing feeling to be able to help one of your friends make his business successful and reach, levels of revenue at a pace he's never reached before. Absolutely amazing feeling, right? And so you can see here, he spent about $300 on ads and made about 3,750, right? In 17 days, booked on the calendar, 3,750. Let me clarify. So return of ad spend about 12.7. It's pretty good. Obviously, as the advertising campaign continued to run past the 17-day mark, though, the ROAS started to drop, and I take responsibility for that as well. He takes responsibility for it as well. We kind of, weren't expecting this, and we're just very happy to see it happen. So, we were able to figure out what works and what doesn't work, right? For the time being, at least. And this is one of the concepts that honestly kept me in the game, right? And if you understand this, it's honestly going to change your mindset about everything, right? I know a lot of people say that, but this is honestly, I've watched so much fucking content. Trust me, this is the main thing you need to understand. How to break through the plateau of latent potential, right? I want you to think about an ice cube, right? And we all know the melting point of an ice cube is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Or 33, whatever it is, you get the point, right? So imagine an ice cube sitting at 29 degrees Fahrenheit. It's still frozen, right? It gets 30 degrees. It's still frozen. 31, still frozen. 32, still frozen. It hits 33, and now it starts to melt. It hits 34, and now it's really melting, right? So this is latent potential. It means all the work you did to get from 29 to 31 wasn't a waste. Even though you don't see any change in results from 29 degrees to 31 degrees, the ice cube's still frozen. There was still work being done, but then when you hit 33, it starts to melt, right? So all that energy is not wasted. It's like latent potential is that stored energy, right? And you can see through this chart, there's a big valley of disappointment. You're doing so much work and you're not seeing any results, but then bam, all of a sudden you hit your breakthrough and things start to go exponential. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, I do not have any paid clients. I've not made $1 with SMMA, but I've made my friend over 3,500, right, in revenue, right? So now I have some confidence behind me. Now I can go out to the marketplace and make an offer I'm convicted in. It changes my whole mindset. It changes my whole strategy. I have a case study to leverage now, right? So I urge you, if you're getting into this game, find a friend who has a local business and offer to work for them for free. If you don't have a friend with a local business, offer to work, just DM local business owners and offer them free trials. Call them, go door to door and offer a free trial. If you do 10, do you not think one of them will say, I'll let you do ads for me for free? They literally sound dumb saying no to that offer, okay? So you should be confident in your offer, okay, to offer to work for free. And let me handle your objection. Okay, I'm going to offer to work for free, but I don't know how to run ads. Well, learn. The only way you're going to learn is by doing. And you have all these resources for free on the internet. You will figure it out. And if you don't, you will figure it out eventually. You just have to keep trying, okay? So, my plan to get my first paid client is to offer free trials, as I said. Obviously, do outbound outreach, use my case study, and build lead magnets. So, I'm going to build a funnel that's basically going to give away a case study of how I got my client Nick results, put lead magnets out on social media in front of, pressure washing business owners, create a stimulus, trigger an emotion. Hey, pressure washing business owners struggling to get past 5 jobs a week, I have the answer. Something that captures their emotion and makes them a little mad, maybe. That's what you want to do. Make some type of polarization in your lead magnet to actually get them a little mad and, invoke a response, right? So that's my plan to get my first paid client. I hope this case study of how I got my client, well, this is not really a case study, sorry for saying that. I hope this video on how I got my first client results was, a little bit of helpful to you just in your mindset of figuring things out. And, if you have any questions, just feel free to leave them in the comments. I promise you I will answer, and have a good day, guys.